Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Srikanth Acharya, who is the founder of OffyNeeds, which is one of the leading corporate gifting platforms in India. Hi, Srikant. Welcome to ELI.
Hi, Priyanjan. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Excited to be on this podcast. Hope you're having a great day.
Absolutely. Would like to start up with your introduction. Introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Srikant Acharya. I'm a very passionate entrepreneur. I'm an avid learner and I love traveling. I'm the founder and CEO at OffyNeeds.com. OffyNeeds is a leading corporate gifting and custom merchandise platform. We're basically an end-to-end platform where you can discover products, customize them, build kits, and even get it delivered to homes of employees anywhere across India. So our USP is really the platform and the technology, logistics, and operations. And we've been around for about 18 years now. We have offices in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and starting Pune very, very soon. That's a little bit about me.
Got you. Uh, would like to understand a little bit about what is the space of office supplies and branded employee kits and all. How big is this market, and how many employees are there who are eligible for this sort of the offerings that you have?
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about the corporate gifting as a segment, right? So it's a subset of a brand building activity, BTL, or brand building activities, below the line activity, marketing activities is what it's referred to as. So if you think about it, if you went to conferences 5 or 10 years back, a lot of visiting cards just had names of companies, KN Enterprises or something like that, right? But now pretty much every visiting card has a logo. So when you start an organization, the first thing that you do is, of course, register a company and things like that. But you go to an agency and get a logo done, and the agency will probably give you some merchandise designs also. So here's what a T-shirt, here's what a mug, here's what a bottle will look like with your logos and things like that. So I believe merchandise has become a very, very important and integral part of brand building, and whether the brand building applies to employer brand building, that's to emphasize the relationship between an employee and employer, or a customer acquisition brand building, or a channel or a dealer acquisition kind of a brand building. So in any of the aspects that you go, merchandise plays a very, very important role, because that's one of the few tangible roles. Basically what it does is merchandise gives physical meaning or touch and feel to a relationship which is otherwise intangible. So in that sense, the market for corporate gifts and merchandise is really, really vast. It's estimated to be at about $50 billion globally, and India, it is estimated to be about $5 to $7 billion, and growing at the rate of about 8 to 10% month on month, I mean year on year, sorry. And pretty much colleges give out merchandise to their students as well as to faculty who come. At weddings and housewarming ceremony, you want to give return gifts to people who come, and the applications are really, really endless. Brands want to give out gifts to their dealers, distributors, and retailers and customers, and so on. Employers want to give out gifts to their employees at the time of new joining, at the time of completion of 1 year, 5 year, and at multiple occasions. So the market opportunity is really, really massive, but it's extremely disorganized and fragmented. And we have found a particular niche which we want to serve, which very well, which is helping HR professionals and business leaders to improve employee engagement within their teams. And one of the ways to do that is by leveraging on the power of corporate gifts and custom merchandise. So that's a little bit about the kind of problem that we're solving and the kind of market that we're addressing.
Got it. One Now that we understand the problem, would like to understand what is the solution, especially what is the unique about Office Needs, because there are a lot of companies out there who do exactly what we are doing, and as you mentioned, there is a tech play here. So, would like to understand what is the technology involved. Is it a app or a SaaS platform? I mean, I'm just curious. Tell us about it.
Sure. So there are broadly two. So just to make sure we establish the context here, right? We're trying to serve medium to large size organization, mostly businesses, to be gifting to their employees. That is a primary target. But of course, you can take your own merchandise, let's say water bottles like this, and you can gift it to anybody you want, right? So to be able to do this, we've got two broad businesses. One is a pure B2B end-to-end e-commerce platform. Now I want to tell you that this platform is in the beta stage right now, and in the next quarter, April, May, June quarter of 2023 is when we'll be making it public. But once it's out, it's an end-to-end B2B e-commerce platform where we've got curated products from about 600 to 700 different brands, total collection of about 5,000 to 6,000 different products, pretty much across any category you can think of, from t-shirts, jackets, backpacks, speakers, headphones, notebooks, mugs, pens, pretty much anything that you can think of, that you can find them. So there is an advanced search along with some level of AI, which will help you magically discover what it is that you're looking for, what's relevant for you. Then on the same website, you can upload your logos and design the product, customize it the way you want it. You can also build boxes if you'd like. If you want to make a kit of your own, you can say, I want to add a t-shirt, I want to add a mug, I want to add a book, I want to add a pen, anything, and choose the kind of packaging. You can design the gift pack that you want. And then you can even manage logistics from there. That means if you say, I want it to be shipped directly to my office, that's pretty straightforward. But if you say, I want it to be shipped to 100 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 employees, you can do that from there as well. You can upload the multiple addresses through a kind of a dedicated page which is there, and you never have to touch the physical goods yourself. There is a consolidated dashboard which will give you a visibility on what happened. You shipped out 100 boxes. What is the status of those boxes? Feedback collection from the person who received it, and consolidated dashboards to be able to so that you manage everything from just a laptop. We want to make management of corporate gifts and custom merchandise just as easy as it is to manage your Facebook ads, or to manage your Facebook or LinkedIn pages. So that's the one platform, which is a B2B end-to-end platform. The second thing which we are doing is, we are, for a lot of organizations, medium to large size organizations, we are building B2B2C white labeled e-commerce website selling their merchandise to their employees. So we are running brand store. We call this as a brand store. So we're running brand stores for Infosys, for Lenovo, for Flipkart, for Byju's, for Bosch, for Larsen and Toubro, and several other companies which we are running, which is white labeled stores selling their merchandise exclusively for their employees only. So the employees can buy those merchandise if they like, or managers can give out points on that platform so that the employees can redeem those points against their company merchandise. So this is what this integration of technology and logistics and operations is what makes us very unique.
Interesting. The final part I want to understand about the venture is maybe the straightforward thing. What is the revenue model? As in, you told us the sources of revenue, but what is the margin we make? How do we source the merchandise? Do we manufacture them ourselves, or how does it work out?
Yeah, so it is so we work with about 400 to 600 different brands and different suppliers across different categories. We also work with OEMs. We procure from OEMs like JBL and Boat and Adidas and Puma and all of these kind of brands. They have an institutional line of products which will be there. So we source those products. Like this particular t-shirt which I'm wearing is from a brand called Hummel. Hummel is a German brand which is there in India. So they have an institutional line of products. Similarly, there are plenty of brands which are there. So we buy from those OEMs, as well as there are some unbranded or little lesser known branded products across pretty much any category that you can think of. So we have a dedicated team which is constantly, proactively seeking out new product ideas and innovation that is happening out in the market, reach out to those suppliers, onboard them onto this particular catalog or onto this platform, and we through different mediums, we educate our customers about the availability of this new interesting innovative products that are there, right? So that's how we do it. And our business model is pretty simple. We do all of these things, and we sell these physical products and we generate revenue. That's how it works.
Got it. Any perspective on the scale of operation, as in how many merchandise pieces we are shipping every month, or how many people are receiving shipments from us?
Okay, so to give you a little bit of an idea about the scale at which we operate, we have been about close to 18 years into business. Our team size is about we are headquartered in Bangalore. We have two offices in Bangalore. One is in Jayanagar, which is which is where I am right now. It is the corporate office, and we have another one in Bomnali, which is, we refer to it as a state-of-the-art operation center, which is a large 20,000 square feet operation center. And it's got all the operations are project managed, and there is a assembly line style production setup. There is inventory management, and the heart of the operation center is what we call OffyNeeds Studio, which is design and customization studio where all kinds of customization happens in-house. We've got printing units, we've got DTF printing for apparel, we've got UV printing for products, we've got screen printing, sublimation printing, we've got embroidery, laser engraving. All the customization is in-house for us. So including all of these, we are a team of about 120 people. And this year we are likely to close our revenue at about 60 crores or so. And I actually don't have a count on how many merchandise we are selling per month, but I do know that in the last 20 months or so, we have done a little over 3 lakh home delivery of corporate gifts. So we've shipped out gifts direct to homes of 3 lakh plus people.
Yeah, that's a massive number. Now would like to hear from you about the journey of entrepreneurship. Like you said, it's been about 15 years when you since you started. So what happened in this 15 years, and how did it all start? What was the trigger point of when you thought, like, I am going to be entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's been 18 years actually, to be precise. So I'm an engineer by qualification. I completed my engineering in 2004 out of a college called SIT in Tumkur, which is about 60 kilometers away from Bangalore. And then I got campus recruited into Infosys as a software engineer. And from 2004 to 2005, for 1 year, I worked as a software engineer. On April 1st, 2005, I played an April Fool's prank. Right, I told my friends, my colleagues, everyone that I'm going to quit my job at Infosys and I'm going to start a business on my own. And everybody was shell shocked, and they thought it was absolutely stupid for me to do something like that. My intention was just to play a prank. I was not serious about it at all, and I just wanted to see how long the prank can go on. So that's how it started off. And nobody identified that prank, and they kept asking, hey, what business are you going to do? And I was not prepared for that. I just blurted out corporate gifts. And the reason I blurted out corporate gifts is because about 15-20 days prior, I had got a t-shirt from Infosys with the logo on it, and I was wearing it over a weekend. And one of the friends, over conversation, he said, whoever got this order, it must be a big order. And that's where I came across the word corporate gifts. So it just stuck in, it was there on top of my mind. So I said, I'm going to start a corporate gifting company. People went on asking questions: how are you going to start, where are you going to source product from, how are you going to acquire customers, how will you build a team? I just went on answering whatever came to my mind, right? And towards the end of the day, I told them, hey, I was just kidding. I'm not going to, quit or anything. But that stayed in my mind, saying I kind of formed a business plan in my head. So that's how I started off. I thought to myself, I don't have an education loan. I'm not married, no home loan, no car loan, any of those things. If I wanted to take the plunge and try entrepreneurship, anyway, I felt I'm not a good software engineer. So I thought, anyway, if I want to try it, now is a good time. And that's how I took that plunge. And since then, it's been plenty of ups and plenty of downs. The first 3-4 years of business were pretty good. It was a honeymoon period, and it was relatively easy. It was a different time, and our expectation out of business was very, very different, and things like that. Then 2000, we've at least seen 2 or 3 rounds of recession happening. 2008, when the Lehman Brothers crash happened, it was a very, very tough time, but a lot of realignment in business happened at that point of time. Again, I think around 2012-13, there was a huge slowdown which happened in the market, but that was the time where venture capital business started coming, venture capitalists started coming. Bangalore started to be known as the Silicon Valley of India. And at that point of time, we tried to rejuggle our business, and we tried to go after investors instead of going after customers. And around 2014-15, in trying to pursue wrong things, I realized we had almost gone bankrupt. And from being at about a team size of about 50-60 employees, I had to scale it down to just like 5 or 6 employees, and then huddle my way through. In 2015, I realized that I was in 3 crores of debt, and I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. And then inch by inch, order by order, scrambled myself back. And by around 2019, 2020, we were debt free, and 2020, We actually completed 15 years in business. We went with the entire team to Goa, had a big celebration, set up massive plan saying we are back on our feet, and 2020 is the year where we are going to rock it. And just as soon as we came back from that celebration, COVID happened, right? And again, everything tanked, and we were still not sure what's going to happen. But then we continued to hustle, continued to experiment, and actually, except for the first 2 or 3 months of the lockdown, March, April, June of 2020, after that we innovated so much that I think from 2020 it's our second innings. This is when we behave like a startup, keeping technology at the center of everything that we do, and that's been a big game changer for us, where almost year on year we are growing at more than 100%. That's the typical roller coaster ride that you see,
Yeah,
that you hear about in an entrepreneurial journey, right?
that's quite a journey. But I want to, go deeper into few parts of the journey you mentioned. Like you mentioned, the first 4 5 years was a honeymoon period. But interestingly, that is the time when most of the startups struggle. The initial days, the first few years. What was so different about your venture? Why it was so easy for you, and why it was not strong enough to face tough times? What happened?
See, the reason why it was easy is, look, I want to make it clear that I'm not recommending anybody take decisions the way I took.
Mhm.
Definitely don't start a business as a result of an April Fool's prank. But I kind of got lucky, I think, because the corporates were starting to hire, the market was starting to open up, and the demand for corporate gifting was starting to grow up at that point of time, but there were no professional players.
Mhm.
The one thing that I did is I had a very simple and clear customer acquisition strategy. I'm an engineer. All my friends are engineers.
Mhm.
They were all in all the different companies which were there across Bangalore. I reached out to everyone. I said, just connect me to your HR or admin manager and tell them that I run a corporate gifting company. That was the time when incoming calls were charged.
Mhm.
Outgoing calls were 32 rupees per minute. Incoming calls were 16 rupees per minute. So cold calling, all these things wouldn't work. The yellow pages, those were the days of yellow pages. If you had to cold
Mhm.
call, you had to take such a fat book. And I remember making cold calls by making calls from a phone coin booth, right? So one
Mhm.
of the smartest customer acquisition strategies that I did is reached out to all my friends, and they connected me to their HR managers. And the
Mhm.
HR managers were blown away that I am quitting an Infosys job and I'm doing this. Simply for that reason, they gave me orders. They said, ये बंदा Infosys छोड़ के कुछ कर रहा है, कुछ तो मालूम रहेगा इसको. So they
Mhm.
gave us those orders, and it was a cakewalk, because there was nobody else who was doing it professionally or appeared to do it professionally. No, like what I mean is mostly people who wouldn't speak in English, and they
Mhm.
didn't look like professional guys. So in that sense, we got lucky. We cracked some really big orders, generated good profits, and built on top of that, one on top of another, expanded the team and things like that. So I think it was a matter of luck to a large extent that worked for us in the first few years.
Mhm. But then, after it was running fine and business was profitable, what went wrong? As in, there are certainly some companies which fail during tough times, but the real startups who have got solid business model, they persevere, like you did. But why did the downsizing happen, and what went wrong?
Yeah, so this was around 2010, 11, around that time. We realized that the way we are doing the business was not scalable, and it's heavy brick and mortar, heavy relationship driven, heavy salesperson driven, and the technology role was relatively less in the pure corporate gifting space.
Mhm.
So just to give you some insight, till then, when we started the company, we were called Gift Wrapped. We were not GIFT WRAPPED. We were not called OffyNeeds. So
Mhm.
around 2011, 2012, it looked like everybody we knew was getting funded, and news about funding was all over the place. So we thought we need to get funded as well.
Mhm.
And the gifting business as such is not fundable. So let's pivot and let's become a B2B e-commerce platform for stationery, office supplies, pantry, housekeeping, and everything that offices need. That's why we rebranded ourselves as OffyNeeds.com. Anything that offices need, you'll find it on OffyNeeds.com. So that was the idea. So we did that pivot, and while doing that pivot, we did really good execution in technology with respect to marketing, with respect to PR, product market fit, a lot of those things. But one of the mistakes which I did is I didn't realize that B2B e-commerce was not going to be easy. B2C e-commerce itself was just about starting. Myntra had just about started at that point of time.
Yeah.
Flipkart had just about started at that point of time. B2C e-commerce itself was not easy, but I didn't foresee how complex B2B e-commerce can be. And instead of focusing on that part of it, I focused a lot more on trying to attend startup meets, going after venture capitalists, and trying to raise funds, and lost focus on what our customers actually needed. And 2-3 years, I was continuously going from one venture capitalist meeting to another venture capitalist meeting, who gave hopeful remarks saying, hey, this is a great business, let's talk, let's see how it goes and things like that. So it always felt like funding is just around the corner, and once funding comes, everything else will get sorted. But that didn't happen, and one fine day I realized, boss, I'm in a big mess, because I've been ignoring business for a long time. There are a lot of order quality has been suffering, and customers we've been losing, and a lot of things that have been going wrong. And one fine day when I said, boss, this can't go anymore, when I decided to accept reality, I was in about 3 crores of debt, and in no way to pay pay rentals or salaries or any of those kind of things. So that's when I came to that terms, and I sat with the team, and as honorably as possible let reduce the team size and brought it down to just 5 or 6 people. And that was a really tough time, right? I thought, what should I do? Whether I should go looking for a job. And if I look for a job, how are you going to repay this 3 CR? It's not that the debtors are just going to go away, right? Then I spoke, one of my friends said, no, you stick on to this business, I will support you. So let go of the place, started working out of a garage again, and started doing a lot of things differently, started hustling from scratch, and slowly started, I went back to the customers. I apologized, saying last couple of years, we've been distracted, we're doing a lot of wrong things, and I know you had to suffer because of that, but give us an opportunity, we will work back, and things like that. So they did give us those opportunities, and one thing at a time, we started recovering our reputation and recovering the business and things like that. And in about 3-4 years time, we were debt free, and we were back to being positive, and we were a team of about 40-50 people until the COVID happened.
Once COVID happened, like you mentioned, after the initial 2-3 months, you started doing well, especially in the areas of technology. So, would like to know what all technologies that you kind of created, or maybe outsourced. What all technology did you deploy to your system to make it more efficient?
So predominantly at the core of it, what we did is we leveraged on e-commerce and applied it in the B2B context, in the context of enterprises. So we, from the time I started to recover around 2014-15, I decided, boss, the mistake that I made is, and because of creating OffyNeeds, because of pitching to so many venture capitalists, everything, I had learned enough technology. We had already created a B2B e-commerce platform for stationery, office supplies, everything. So we understood how to make. And by technology, I basically mean using e-commerce platforms, and specific in the context like activating single sign-ons with organizations, and creating white label stores, and creating consolidated dashboards for different applications, all of these kind of things, creating this in different scenarios that are required. So COVID forced us to, what COVID did is, before COVID, we already had these brand stores, we had some of these things, but it was okay, it was a feel-good factor, it was good to have. But once COVID happened, every employee was working from home, then this became the only way, right? For the first 3-4 months, it was absolute panic, and nobody knew what to do. And at that point of time, what we did is we realized, if we don't take some action fast, we are also going to shut down. So what I quickly realized is, nobody wants corporate gifts anymore, but people want to work from home, and employees don't have furniture to work from home. So we built a website called thehomeoffice.in, and started selling chairs, tables, laptop stands, headphones, Wi-Fi improvement equipment, and all of those kind of things. And we built a D2C platform called the Home Office. In just 2 or 3 weeks time, we built it, and we started advertising on Google and Facebook, and started trying to acquire customers directly. But more importantly, we went back to our corporates, and we said, what are you doing to help your employees work from home more efficiently? And we told them to leverage on this platform, and we grew that business. Then we started doing a little more specific. We realized home delivery is everything. We realized that customers now want gifts, but employees are not coming home. You need to home deliver it. So we started creating platforms which are specific to that particular need. We created microsites, we created brand stores, We started ticket management to make sure that delivery guarantee is happening and delivery experience is positive. A lot of those things which we started doing, and that is the part that using the context of e-commerce in the context of B2B and
Mm,
enterprise setup is what we nailed it, what we're really good at.
got it. Uh, Almost up with the time. I just have one or two more questions left. So all these years of hustling and raising funds, hiring people, letting go of people. What do you have learned about the meaning of entrepreneurship? What is entrepreneurship as per you?
Look, entrepreneurship, I think at the core is about solving problems. It's about solving problems in a way that your customers are willing to pay for it. That is what entrepreneurship is all about, nothing else. And it could be either solving problems in the sense it's either identifying a customer and helping them meet their aspiration, or they have a bleeding neck problem and helping them solve that. That is what entrepreneurship is about. And rest everything is just the business plan, and it's all MBA jargon. If
Mm,
you have a customer whose problem you're solving and he's willing to pay for it, that's it, you have a business. Then comes the what is the market size, and then comes what is the opportunity, all of that stuff. But businesses are truly about solving problems, is what I feel. That is what I think any entrepreneur should keep in mind.
it, from a skill set point of view, or from a personal trait point of view, what do you think are the skills needed for entrepreneurship, or who as a person qualifies, or looking at that person, say he has this trait, so he may be an entrepreneur, he should be an entrepreneur. So what are those things as per you?
I think entrepreneurship is the only career choice where there is no specific skill set saying if you have these skill sets, you are a good entrepreneur. If you're a great orator, you can be a host, you can be a RJ, you can be whatever, right? If you got musical skills, you can be a musician. Entrepreneurship is not like that. Entrepreneurship is, I think, the opportunity to leverage on the skills that you already have. If you're good at something, if you're able to build a business which leverages on that skill, and you knowing that I'm bad at something, I'm really not good at something, and if you have the intelligence and the capability to build a team which makes up for that thing that you lack,
Mm,
then you can turn a business. So whether I know so many people who are introverts, I know so many people who are extroverts who are great business people. I know a lot of people who are great with technology. There are a lot of people who suck at technology who are great entrepreneurs. There are people
mm,
who are ruthless, with they suck at building teams, but still there are people who build great. So there is no such thing saying if you are an entrepreneur you need to be this. uh,
mm,
Entrepreneurship is probably the only career which is very, very flexible, but you need to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and leverage on your strengths. Build a business that helps you do more of what you are already good at, what you already enjoy doing, and accept and acknowledge the weaknesses that you have, and build a team that fills those gaps.
mm. Yeah, that's a really nice way to explain it. And my final question, uh, such a long entrepreneurship career, you made a lot of mistakes, and when you make mistakes, you learn lessons. So, which of those lessons are scalable that we can also take away and apply to our ventures, universally apply?
Yeah. So one thing which I said is always ask, are you solving the problem? It's very easy to get distracted saying, hey, some trend is happening, let me do that, or something one person said. So if you're able to always ask yourself, this is the problem that I decided to solve. Whatever it is that I'm doing today, is it solving that problem or not? That's the first thing
Mm,
that I would say. The second thing that I would say is that consistency is more important than intensity. We sometimes get joshed up and do a lot of things, and after a week we are not doing that anymore. So whatever it
mm,
is that you're doing, you need to be doing that consistently on a regular basis. The third thing that I would say is, um, you know be an avid learner, right?
mm,
When I started entrepreneurship, I had not known the meaning or spelling of entrepreneurship. I don't think the word existed back then. I'd never heard of it.
yeah,
It used to be just called business. That's all, right? But
correct.
you have to keep learning and especially now things are changing at such a rapid pace that learning is not optional anymore. You always have to learn, and luckily for us now that pretty much anything that you want to learn is available for almost for free. It's there
That's
on
true.
YouTube, on Google, and things like that. So that's what my advice would be, or that's what I think everybody should focus on.
Well, on this note, we have to end the session, but it was such a amazing learning experience for me. Thanks for your time, Srikant. And I would say my best wishes for OffyNeeds.
Thank you, Priyaranjan. It was fantastic speaking to you. I've been in awe of the kind of work you've been doing at ELI. More power to you.
Thank you.